should no longer be called elite. Just say expensive. Which may be why they breed a particular brand of detestable graduate, a personality type that does not emerge from Chico State.
Bill Maher just went straight for the jugular of woke elitism, targeting the Ivy League, and it was fireworks from start to finish. He didn't pull any punches. Maher, who's long criticized America's top universities for swapping logic with ideology, delivered a scathing takedown of these so-called ivory towers. Buckle up, this one's going to sting.
Despising Israel became pretty much a requirement of the American left. It's colleges, elite colleges, the mouth of the river from which this and all manner of radical left, illiberal, yes, illiberal nonsense flows. Supporting all black, that is, segregated dorms, segregated graduation ceremonies and orientation programs, which occur on hundreds of campuses, is illiberal. So is the racism against Asian applicants.
Maher didn't hold back for a second. He dropped a series of truth bombs on America's so-called woke universities, accusing them of dividing students instead of uniting them. And he's absolutely right. One of the greatest strengths of America has always been its diversity, a nation built from countless backgrounds, cultures, and races, all standing together under one flag. It's called the United States for a reason. Generations have fought, struggled, and sacrificed to build a country where people could stand shoulder to shoulder, regardless of skin color or creed. Yet today, our elite universities, the very institutions meant to shape the next generation of leaders, seem more focused on labeling students by identity and victimhood. Instead of promoting unity, they're fueling division. Maher simply said what millions have been thinking. This isn't progress, it's regression.
Off of campus? When the First Amendment watchdog group Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression began ranking colleges based on their commitment to free speech and inquiry, Harvard came in dead last. There's only one set of acceptable opinions on campus, and it's policed hard. The old dorm room bull sessions? It's less risky shooting the shit in Scientology.
Maher's absolutely right. Our colleges, especially the elite ones, were meant to be sanctuaries of free speech, open inquiry, and fearless intellectual debate. They were supposed to be places where bold ideas collided, where truth was refined through challenge, and where students learned to think critically rather than conform blindly. But somewhere along the way, that noble mission was lost. Today, far too many of these so-called pillars of knowledge have turned into echo chambers for woke orthodoxy. Instead of encouraging independent thought, they suppress it. Instead of fostering debate, they punish dissent. Professors and students alike now tiptoe through classrooms, afraid that one wrong opinion could lead to social exile or cancellation. And if that's the future of education, we're in serious trouble.
Wrote that he who knows only his own side of the case knows little. To which today's college students respond, he and his are cis pronouns. That commit violence against queer and BIPOC communities, so who cares what John Stuart Mill says, whoever he is. Oh, and Thomas Jefferson was a slaveholder. He might have done some other stuff, but it wasn't on the test.
Now, here's where things get really interesting and a bit uncomfortable. There was a time when universities were the breeding grounds for innovators, thinkers, and problem solvers. But today, far too many graduates struggle to think critically without first checking whether their thoughts align with the latest social narrative. Maher argues that this obsession with woke ideology has replaced genuine intellectual curiosity with empty moral posturing. Instead of being taught to analyze, question, and create, students are being conditioned to deconstruct, to tear down every old institution and idea, no matter how valuable or relevant it still might be. It's no longer about understanding history. It's about rewriting it to fit a fashionable modern script. And in Maher's view, that's not education, it's indoctrination with a tuition bill attached.
No longer be called elite. Just say expensive. Which may be why they breed a particular brand of detestable graduate, a personality type that does not emerge from Chico State.
I'm with Bill Maher on this one completely. These so-called elite schools may charge sky-high tuition, but they're no longer producing graduates ready for the real world. The diplomas might look impressive, but what's the point if the education behind them is hollow? Too many students are emerging from a watered-down system that prioritizes identity politics, virtue signaling, and emotional comfort over competence, discipline, and critical thinking. The result? A generation that can passionately debate pronouns, but struggles to function in professional settings or solve real-world problems. Maher's right. These universities have lost sight of their mission. They were supposed to create thinkers and innovators, not fragile activists. At this rate, prestige means nothing if it's not backed by substance, skill, and strength of mind.
They turn out someone decent, but for every Barack Obama, there are two Josh Hawleys. The former debate team jerk-off who had no friends, that no one likes today, and yet somehow manages to win a statewide popularity contest. Box-checking brown-nosers who don't actually believe anything except that tricking stupid people's fun.
The silence that followed Maher's mention of Senator Josh Hawley, broken only by a few awkward claps, spoke volumes. It perfectly captured the unease that surfaces whenever politics collide with personal bias. Maher may not like Hawley, and that's fine. But disliking someone doesn't automatically make their supporters ignorant. People have different values, priorities, and heroes. Not everyone idolizes the same political figures. Some admire Hawley, others can't stand him. The same goes for Obama. Many Americans still believe he was one of the worst presidents in modern history. That's democracy, messy, loud, and diverse. Maher's opinion about Hawley, however sharp or stinging it may be, is still just that, an opinion. And the beauty of free speech is that it gives all of us, left, right, or center, the right to have one.
These men like these, and the kids who signed the Harvard letter have nothing in common. Actually, I think they do. They all came out of an asshole factory. So, to the older folks, I say, college today is not the college you remember. And to the younger people, I say, don't do it. You don't need 4 years and a lifetime of crippling debt to learn to hate America when you can just watch 5 minutes of Selling Sunset.
It's not the young people who suddenly started hating America. It's the older generation that's been teaching them to. The irony is hard to miss. The very politicians who claim to fight for the people are often the ones sowing resentment and division. Figures like AOC and Bernie Sanders constantly talk about tearing down the system and battling the so-called oligarchs, yet they're the same ones mingling with the wealthy elite at fundraisers and flying first class. Even worse, they romanticize nations like Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Palestine, countries with long histories of human rights abuses, while vilifying the very nation that grants them the freedom to speak, protest, and run for office. Instead of teaching gratitude for American opportunity, they're conditioning the next generation to despise it. Maher's right to call it out. It's self-destruction masquerading as virtue.